2026 will be your year. You will build your perfect productivity system end to end. That's what we're here for. That's what we've built literally the past decades up to this point, where we can say we have the most comprehensive productivity learning platform in the entire world. Full stop. Challenge us. If there's anything else like this out there, show me. I never seen this, and our co-founder never saw this either, because we went through all the options out there. There are courses, there are templates, there are scattered information about how to become more productive, but there's nothing comprehensive that helps busy professionals. We are not talking about students or somebody who is juggling a few tasks and emails per week. No, we are talking about business owners, team leaders, multi-business owners, people juggling hundreds of emails per day, dozens of projects, stakeholders, clients. This is who will benefit from our myICOR application that I will show you in detail in this video. And you can tell me in the end of the video if you think this could help you too. And if it does, you can join for free. This is the amazing part. And that's what we will do now. We will directly sign up for free, and I show you exactly what you will get for free there. All right, here we are. And we create a test account. And that's what you will be presented with. You share your job title. Let's say I'm business owner in a consulting, size of business, and what prompted you, maybe this video that you're watching right now, and that's it. Why do we ask all this? It is a professional community, as you will see when we go into this. And you have to provide this because then the system knows best what type of productivity system you try to build and how to support you in the best way possible. Now, first name, last name. Again, we have to provide the last name because you will be able, like on LinkedIn, you can mention people. And if we have 100 mics in there, it will be hard to find the right person you are actually trying to mention in your comments. And then we upload a profile picture. And that's it. And you are in. And you will have direct access to the community feed in here. All with your free account. You can read through the community. And we will look into this into more detail right now. I want to show you what makes the big difference of this type of community compared to any other membership platform that we used before or that you might have used before, or social media platforms. So here, for example, Jeff shares something about us, okay? So obviously we have here, that's something you know, you can mention people and you see details about the people, but we have a dynamic glossary system in there. So whenever there's any word that is related to productivity, we have the ICOR glossary that explains exactly what this is. So for example here, process is related to business process. So if we click on it, we can even drag it out and then we have access to more glossary items here. And we can really already, out of one just one comment, we can dive already deep into the wording and learning the things. But this goes way beyond, because if you are a paying member, then you have access to the full courses, and therefore you always have immediate access to the relevant lesson. So let's say you looked up task that just appeared on a comment, you see the definition of what a task actually is, and you immediately see a related lesson, which is currently locked. We look into the detail what it looks unlocked, but this how this works, okay? Regardless, on your free account, you already get a wealth of information just by reading through the definitions. And we define all the things that everybody is using every day, like what is action? This is what we define action based on ICOR and so on. Now, the free account that I just signed up with gives you unlimited access to the ICOR Journey Starter Kit. And the ICOR Journey Starter Kit is what you see here. You get a video lessons that you can access here, and you get this beautiful PDF, 120 pages of a comprehensive playbook going through the ICOR methodology and how to build a productivity system end to end. So this PDF alone, people will charge for, no doubt about this. And then the course, the free course that comes along with it, people will charge for 100% too. And this goes way beyond. Here we will already see the system that we implemented that goes beyond a normal course, because the thing that we recognized is that people go through courses and they didn't learn anything afterwards. I went through so many courses, and after doing them, I didn't change anything. I had no clue what to do, because you're consuming, you're just watching the things and reading the things, but you never really thought about how this can be applied in your real world situation. And in this free course already, you have access to the growth assignment system, and that's a whole new thing. It's the first of its kind in the world where you progress through the courses and get a tangible progress. In our previous platform, there was a complete lesson button where people were able to complete the lesson and then you see, oh, I completed the course, congratulations. But here, for each day in the free course, after you watch the video, you consume the lesson summary, right? You understand what is going on. And for each lesson, there's also a magic slide that you can look that summarizes the whole lesson. Then you go to the growth assignment and it asks you questions about what you just watched and consumed. When a new task arrives, do you know exactly where it should go and what happens next? And there are always 3 possible answers. Yes, I have a clear system with defined paths for every type of task. And if you click on it, that's the best solution. And then it gives you additional information why this was good that you chosen this. Or maybe you're not so sure about it. It shows you then how to improve things. And then also, no, I figure it out case by case, and case by case decisions compound into massive overhead and so on. It gives you real results, suggestions how to improve exactly in this situation in your life. And for each lesson, there are 4 questions that you can answer. So let's randomly answer these questions. For each growth assignment, it explains to you why you're doing this growth assignment. And now you see already here on the left, by completing the questions, you complete the lesson. And now you have a visual indicator how good you are in this scenario for this concept. And you see here on top the ICOR alignment, how well it is. And when you progress through the whole thing, the calculation will show you obviously that you completed the course, something that is typical in courses, but also will show you dynamically how well you implemented the system in your life. And here we just talk about the free course that is 100% free, fully accessible. You can even join the discussion here. And in each lesson, you have a discussion too. You have an area where you can place your personal notes that are only stored for yourself, not visible to others. This is already worth joining, guys. The PDF playbook that you can download and use on your iPad or wherever you want to watch it, print it out, share it with your friends. You have the full course that you get for free, and you have a 10-day trial where you can access some of the core features of myICOR too. And that's what I want to show you now. So you can go to the live events, and there you will have access to Paco and me. We are going live every Monday, recording our podcast episodes. If you're on a podcast, you know what these are. And there you can join the actual podcast, or you can access the previous recordings where you also see the full recording and also the chat messages that were going on during the recording. And this is how we ensure that you get instant access. So if you miss the recording, right after we finish the recording, it's instantly available to you. You don't have to wait until the podcast episode is published. No, it's instantly available to you. And that's what we have here. And now you see also the inner circle events and all this in one list. We come to this in a moment. But the thing is, you don't came here to watch us talking, right? You came here to figure out what productivity tools should you use. That's the biggest problem. That's what people search on YouTube. And that's what people ask us. What is the best productivity tool? What is the best note-taking, best task manager, best calendar application? And we have the solution for you. Again, one of its kind in this world that you won't find elsewhere. Forget about any productivity tool finder out there where the tools are either presented due to affiliates, sponsorships, and gives you no information whatsoever because all these tools are just listed with their features. It's not really telling you how people actually use these tools. And this is where you will see what is the big difference when you search for the tools inside myICOR. So you start by going to my tool stack. And here we have the ICOR framework. And very quickly, for those who don't know, we divide a productivity system into 4 core categories. A PKM area, personal knowledge management, a PPM area, task management, a BPM, business project management, and BKM, business knowledge management. These are the 4 categories that you need to understand. And obviously we teach this in the free course too. Then you can search for the tools that you are already using. And you will be surprised how many tools you already use you don't even know. But let's say you're using Apple Notes, okay? So here you go, you search for Apple Notes, it finds here. And then you say you use this for PKM. Boom, placed there. That's it. And then maybe you're using Todoist for task management. Or if you're stuck in a Microsoft ecosystem, who knows, then just search for these tools. It's there too. Here's Microsoft To Do. Let's say that's the one that you need to use for a business process. I'm not going into detail about how all this works, but because you will figure it out while you're doing it here. Now you can open up the tool and there are the secondary categories. Now you can say, I'm using Apple Notes because it's placed in PCAM. It presents you this. I'm using Apple Notes for handwriting and for shallow thinking and maybe quick capture. And Todoist, I'm using for tasks, speedies, which are very short tasks, less than 15 minutes. And maybe my daily routines, okay? And as you can see, there's always discussions going on according to the tool. If I'm opening Todoist, there might be a discussion already going on, but as you can see, this tool was just mentioned in another post in a different place. So if I go show context, it opens up the post that somebody posted and you see there's a discussion going on here. And just because they mentioned Todoist in this discussion, this appears then on the tool too. So for example, here Heptabase was mentioned. If we open Heptabase this way, there we see all the discussions going on for Heptabase. And that's already the community aspect. You see there are no details. I don't have it in my tool stack. Let's say I want to add it to my tool stack. I can directly do it here. Boom. Now it's in my inbox. So if I go to the tool stack, here's Heptabase. It immediately appeared. So that's the key of myICOR. You will see this all over the place. Everything is interconnected in this tool. Now I can drag it into here. And now I can think about how do I use Heptabase? Well, I use it for visual thinking, deep thinking and my inner world, and that's it. Okay, but you see already Apple Notes appearing here. So again, everything is interconnected and you see Apple Notes appearing because I selected these fields on Apple Notes. So I know already when I click this again, it becomes orange, giving you a warning. You're using two tools for the same thing. Maybe it's legit, you can do it, but that's just giving you a visual indicator that you're using this. Then you can add the devices and platforms, you can add the pricing per month and so on. You can add some how you use it and room for improvement. And you can go then here to the community insights, resources and learning. And you can even access additional discounts if they are available for these tools that are dedicated to our members. Again, we are not sponsored by any of these tools, but we ask the tool providers if they have any special discounts for our members. And that's what you can access here. And then here the learning resources. All our videos, all our podcast episodes and all Paco's articles are inside myICOR. This means, again, everything is interconnected and therefore I can go here, instantly open up a relevant video that tells me more details about this tool. And again, here you see the glossary is coming up. If we are using any wording that you're not familiar with, just hover over it, you see the details. And as a member, you click here and you open up the lesson and we will see this in a moment. So now that you laid out some tools that you're using, okay? And you have some in the PKM area. You can go to the note-taking framework. And this is focusing just on note-taking apps and is based on the 6 note-taking workflows that we teach in ICOR. And if you're a free member and you go over this, it shows you a quick detail what this means, but you also can go learn more in course. And when you do so, it opens up the relevant lesson in the free ICOR Journey Starter Kit, because here we teach the 6 workflows too. Here they are. We show them in the video. You have again a magic slide that you can open and watch there and study. And if you are a paying member, you will get redirected to the individual lessons, because obviously in the full courses, we dive a lot deeper into the individual workflows here. So what is this? This note-taking framework allows you now to think about how good the note-taking and PKM tools that you're having in the tool stack are actually working for these different workflows. So closest to paper experience, for example, Heptabase is not really, it's not nothing. So we're not placing it here at all. But Evernote is really good there. And then I can think about write and connect information. Well, this is where Heptabase really shines. And then note-taking on third-party content. I don't think that's good at all. I can move it here and maybe also Apple Notes down here, the one that goes beyond. And again, I'm not going into details about what all these workflows mean in detail. You can join for free and watch the lesson and then you will know. Jot things down. Apple Notes is really strong. Develop your thinking. Heptabase is really strong. So you immediately see now this way where there are gaps. And now I can think about what is the tool that is missing in the third-party content? And then maybe you end up having Reader And then you say, okay, I'm using Reader for this, and boom, now you know perfectly what tool you're using for what. And this obviously goes much further, because if you go into the individual tools, you fill out these things here, the outer world, for example, right? And the pricing and all this. And then you have the tool stack insights where you see all the details about this in summary. If you, for example, go to my tool stack, here we are, okay? Here it's fully filled out. You can access my profile and see it. If you're on a free trial or if you're a member, you can always go to anybody's profile. And if you open up the profile, you see their tool stack. You see the utility apps. You see the note-taking framework, how it's laid out. That's me. And the same for Paco. And then you can always just click. It's interactive. You can open it up. You can see how others are using it. And then when you filled everything out and you go to the tool stack insights, boom. Now you have details about all the tools that you're using, and you see I'm using quite a few. There's also the details about the note-taking framework, but also something very interesting for so many of you. What is the monthly cost of the tools? As you can see, I'm paying over $800 for my productivity tools. Isn't this insane? But I immediately see, okay, the most expensive things are Claude, Zapier, and Dropbox that I'm paying for most of the things that I have here. It's broken down in the core applications and so on. You know, you can build the connections and all these things. I'm not going into more detail here because I made other videos about this already. But this is what you will get if you sign up for free. But now that you share the details, this means that our community builds the perfect tool comparison platform out there that is based on real data, real use cases, how people use the tools. And this is what you find in the ICOR tool finder down here, that you also get access. Now here you see listed all the tools. You can hide your own tools. So you see only people's other tools, okay? You see how many other people are using it. You see we have already 568 tools added by our community with 948 paperless movement members. We are reaching 1,000 members in this community just within 1 month after we launched it, and it was all during beta. As of today, we published this video, this application is out of beta. So now it's official. 2026 is the year of ICOR. So this is really powerful now, because this is when you remember in the beginning, why did you need to share your job title? Here you go. Now you can actually filter by CEO, your industry that you're working in, and you can actually click me, you know, it will just pre-fill the things that you had. And now you see people working as CEO in the consulting industry at companies with 2 to 10 employees are also using. And now you see all the tools that these people are using. Now I can increase the percentage of PKM tools, okay? Now I see that's what people using in my industry with this company size and all this for PKM. So if I remove one, obviously I get more results the more we have. But you can imagine once we up this number, there will be a lot more insights too. And this is the way how you can find more tools that work or that are missing in your tool stack. Obviously, you can search for tools. You can also check out on what platforms you're using it. But also here are the tools that we just added to our ICOR framework. And now I can say, well, I'm using Heptabase. What are other people using who are also using Heptabase and are business owners, okay? So you can combine it this way too. So they use Heptabase and are business owners. They are also using this set of tools. And now tell me what tool comparison platform out there has something like this to offer. Now we also have the ICOR resource finder, where, as I mentioned, are all the articles, videos, and podcast episodes available that we have published. And you see it's 411 resources that we have in here. And the whole system is context aware. So now I can actually search for something like Apple Notes, and I find all the Apple Notes videos that I published in the past, but also Paco published about Apple Notes versus Craft versus Heptabase. Boom, here's his article. You can read the full article, you can discuss, you can take notes, you can quickly navigate through the article, and you see all the related content there too. But the beauty is, reading an article from Paco, you can highlight something and you can actually highlight it, literally. So now you highlighted it. You can take a private note on it, or you can respond to it. You can discuss it. And now we have it here. And if you're elsewhere and you just see this, you click on it, it will open up and you will scroll there. And then you can discuss the specific part that was highlighted in this article. And here comes in the power of the interconnected community. If we now go back to my ICOR feed, you see now that the article that I just commented on got pushed to the top because I commented on it. And we have the last activity here, so we can obviously always show the newest articles and comments and posts and things like that. But as this is happening, old content is always resurfacing where people watched things, checked out things, and this way it's perfectly to work on. But obviously, and the thing is, we implemented so many things that we love to use in productivity tools too. So we can actually set this to later and say, I want to read this later in 2 hours tomorrow, or you pick a date, but let's say tomorrow, okay? I can bookmark this. I can create a folder where I want to save this in the bookmarks, okay? And then you have your inbox here. So if anybody mentions you, replies, things like that, you know the notification system. But what we hated in our last membership platform before we built this ourselves was the notifications. It's just overwhelming if everything is full with notifications. Here you have a proper inbox system based on what we teach in ICOR. You have a primary inbox, another inbox, and here's the later inbox. You see the countdown even running when it comes back, and then it will just move into your primary inbox. You have bookmarks, where you have the bookmarks in the organization. And obviously you have the cleared contents. You have full control here, where you can group things. You can say what you want to get inside your inbox and so on. So you have full control. Even if this is unsnoozed, it is in your inbox. You can always snooze. We have keyboard shortcuts to snooze the things, okay? Well, I can go on for hours just talking about the inbox alone. But if you're really lost, there's always a way to go here and say contact support, and that's it. Just send us a message. Sarah and I are both here to support you. If there's anything going on, you have any questions, this is how you can access it. And being in this profile section, you see we have light mode. Boom. Even the tool stack. The note-taking framework, all the things work perfectly in light mode too. This is what we have too. But we just talk about the free access that you can have for free. You see here, next tool review. Guys, you're all interested in capacity, so it's about time that I make a capacities review, and that's what we will do moving forward. We will listen to the community. Whatever you post in here, we will keep track of the things that you ask here and make videos, articles around this, which will then fill up this platform even more and make it more useful beyond just being courses or just have a separate community where random questions are asked and hidden in some comment sections on a lesson or something like that. Here we are, and you see, you guys, you can then obviously add the tools that you have in your tool stack. You can search for the tools and you can add them here as options to the account. That's how you see how everything is interconnected in myICOR. We have a whole membership list where we see statistics about the members that we have, and you can click on this, you can sort by the people. This is a highly professional platform, and that's why we are so strict about who will then be able to join. So here you see always the stage of the ICOR journey progress and what they are. So here's a lifetime member, another lifetime member, and yes, one payment and stay forever. There will be so many more improvements coming to this platform. And well, we offer one-time payment too, in addition to our monthly payments. And here you see, he's in a different stage. And what are these stages? Well, when we now switch to the paid membership. And here we are, this is my personal account, and now I have full access to the whole membership. In addition to the ICOR framework, note-taking framework, the tool stack insights, you now have access to the My Workstream section. And I will make a dedicated video where I'll now add my own work streams or the paperless movement work streams, for example, for the video creation process. And this is how this looks like. You simply be able to make simple workflows and work streams, but with so much detail in it. And again, I will make a dedicated video about it, but here you can really lay out the tools. You can add people from your team who are also in myICOR and apply them here. You see the tools that are added from your tool stack, you can link out to the standard operating procedures and you can switch to a responsible view where you immediately see who is responsible for what. And I can perfectly just move it down and then assign another person to this process step. And this gives me full control over my work stream. Something, again, one of its kind in this world. That's the simplest way to make business process mapping, but with very rich information about the business processes. It goes way beyond, using Miro or any diagram application where you can lay all this out. Everything is interconnected. You have your tool stack. You have all the things in here, and therefore it makes now sense to have your actual business processes here too. But it only makes sense for paying members, because there you have access to the Automation Like a Pro course, which is part of the ICOR journey. And in here we talk about business process mapping, how to map your business workflows and all this. And with this understanding, you will create these work streams in a complete different way. And that's why we lock them down. But talking about the full ICOR journey, let's have a look. These are the full courses. And as you have seen for the starter kit, each lesson has individual magic slides, has a video lesson. It has a lesson summary. Obviously, you can discuss, you can take notes per lesson, and has a growth assignment. And that's now key, because now you really progress through these things. Obviously, there are also the implementation layers where Paco and I show you how we apply our own tool agnostic concepts and workflows to our own tools. And this goes through the whole ICOR journey courses, the PKM Like a Pro course. What is an inbox? Boom. You have access to the magic slide. You have a comprehensive summary. Inside the summary, you have again the glossary that gives you details, where you can jump to another place like Inbox Zero. Brings you to the Email Management Like a Pro course that now shows you exactly how to get Inbox Zero daily with our email management system that we teach in ICOR too. Then we have the Task Management Like a Pro course. So you see we slowly progressing through ICOR, input, control, output, refine. Here we talk all about task management, routines, balance, all the things that you might have heard about scattered on the web, on YouTube videos as productivity hacks. But it's not interconnected. A productivity system end to end is a system. And that's what ICOR provides. It's not coming up with new things, but it is using what is out there that Paco and I experienced for a combined 40 years of experience building and using productivity system for ourselves, but also for our teams and companies, and combine it in ICOR. That's what we are using daily. That's what we use to build this application. Project Management Like a Pro. That's where you come into the team communication system, the idea incubator, the execution beast, all the things that you need as a professional at work to succeed. And once you go through all this and you go through the growth assignments, then you have an understanding where are the gaps. You can double down on the gaps. You can reach out in the community. You can ask Paco and me, or you join the Inner Circle, which is our coaching program. That's on top, that if you think coaching is necessary, that's what we offer. And this means that the only difference to the normal membership is this dedicated space for the Inner Circle, where we have these cohorts. And as you can see, we are not doing this since yesterday. We have cohorts all the way back to February 2024, where we launched the first cohort of the Inner Circle program. And we are now slowly backfilling all these from our previous membership, because it's worth it. Even for people who joined us in 2024, who have lifetime access, who only paid once back then, they still have access to their recordings, and now we enrich the recordings in a whole new way. So here, for example, is our current cohort in January, where we have all the people interacting with each other, and we just had our first session, and the first session, you see the session preparation happens in here, and as everything is interconnected, it now tracks the progress through the courses. So each week in a coaching, we focus on one particular course that you go through, and we see then who completed it. And then in the next session, we discuss the progress. We can look at the growth assignments. We can perfectly snipe down on the actual challenges that you're having, not randomly asking questions and then going back and forth. No, we focus now on the things that you're really suffering from. And here is the previous session, so we can watch. And this is how this looks like, a 3-hour coaching session that we have every week. You see the speaker labels are our actual cohort members. And I can here look through the insights. So I can say questions. Oh, there was a question about, let's say, managing multiple contexts and task management. Click, boom, it jumps into the section. It jumps into the place inside the video, and you can watch the question with text. And you can even go further because, as I said, everything is interconnected. Anytime a tool was mentioned in this video, it is listed there as the actual tool, and all the timestamps it was mentioned in with a quick description. So I can click here, it jumps to the different section. Let's say Apple Notes, boom, there we go. And as you can see down here, there's Apple Notes mentioned, and then obviously all the ICOR concepts and workflows that we discussed are listed here too. So this makes, again, first of its kind worldwide, new coaching experience. It's not only the 3 sessions where you have to take notes all the time so you don't forget and take the most out of it. No, you can keep revisiting these sessions and get all what you need out of it. You can obviously join a discussion or take your private notes directly here per session too. And then as an inner circle member, you join the alumni, and therefore you will join the alumni calls. And we launched this last year. Each quarter there will be alumni call where all our inner circle members come together in Zoom, and you can share your progress, additional questions that you might have still after you finish the cohort. And these sessions are then also provided in the same manner. So therefore all this is in here then available too as you had before. But this is dedicated to the inner circle, and also the new myICOR coach, which is an AI coach that you can ask any questions that you might have on mind, that is aware of your tool stack. So let's say how to improve my task management skills. And we are using here the best AIs that we can have, and that's why it's very expensive to run these things, and that's why it's available for our inner circle members. We might see if we have other options in the future, but we roll this out first for the inner circle members. So you see here, it not only gives you a reply, but again, you have the glossary, right? If anything is there that you don't understand, just hover over it. You can immediately go to any of these, and it immediately opens up the relevant lesson to dive deeper. You have the tools here, Sansama. Okay, this is based on your tool stack. And you see the tools are listed here and the growth assignments that are relevant to it. But it will also show you additional resources, videos, podcasts, articles that you might find helpful to dive even deeper and get the perfect answers. So once you master ICOR, and you will see this by going to your home section, where you see the progress through the different stages. You're getting started. You do the digital note-taking and PKM course. You do the task management and project management course. You do the automation course. You build out your work streams, at least one. Then you can access the ICOR certification program. And this is a tough one. Only if you really master ICOR and you have full control over your productivity system and you understand this, you will succeed with the certification. And then you get a PDF that you can share with your boss in your company, on LinkedIn, whatever you want. And you can really show that you mastered ICOR, and therefore you have a highly efficient productivity system in place. And that's why we have so many team leaders, company owners also joining my ICOR and want to bring in their people, because they start building a common context. It doesn't matter what tools they use. If they're stuck in the Microsoft ecosystem, it doesn't matter, because all the things that you saw are, first of all, tool agnostic. And that's what people miss. They always look for the perfect tool. They look for a template they can download for the tool. Then they get, it's restricted in a company and all these. But in the end, the only reason why you suffer at work is because you don't understand the underlying concepts and workflows that you need to understand to build a productivity system, a highly effective and efficient productivity system end to end in your business, at work, for your team, or whatever you may have there. And eventually, as we always look at the work bubble here, once you have this in place, you will see you will use it in your life for any other private areas too, because you're just one person. Obviously, you want to be organized outside work too, and this will be included once you understand the foundations in here. And with the growth assignments that I showed you, with the courses, with the way you can interact and reach out to community, we can guarantee that you will never have increased your productivity at a level that you will if you join us in myICOR in 2026. So what are you waiting for? If you're not already a member, join us for free. Check out the ICOR Journey Starter Kit, download the PDF, get started, reach out to us, ask questions, and we are personally here to help you succeed. Let's ICOR 2026 together.